Hey everyone, we'll get started in just a second. I'm just getting all of the streaming stuff connected, and then it will be good to go. Welcome to our session on Flashpricer. We are going to get a little more in the weeds tonight. I did another kind of short demo overview about a week and a half ago. You can find that on the YouTube page under the live videos. But tonight we're going to get a little more nitty gritty of how do you start, how do you connect your store, how do you set up your strategies, and then analyzing some data, updating data, all of that good stuff. And if you're here at the end, we're going to do a giveaway for a $200 Starbucks gift card to help get you through the Q4 stresses. I also have put up a QR code right there. If you click, scan that QR code, that'll take you to sign up for Flashpricer. We have a 14-day free trial. And then I have a discount code that I'll share with you at the end where you can get 50% off your first 3 months. So that's going to get you through Q4 and January, which is kind of like Q4 extended. January sales are always really good on the platforms. So hang with me and you'll get that code. You'll get to enter the drawing. But for now, we're going to just dive in and talk about the platform. Feel free to ask questions. Just put them in the chat. For those of you who are on other social media platforms watching me, I will have to stop and kind of go and pick up those questions. They don't come through like the YouTube questions do. So we're just going to dive in and talk about Flashpricer. So let me share my screen. Give me a second to do that. And there we go. Okay, so Flashpricer is, if you're not familiar with it, it is a repricing software for both Amazon and Walmart platforms. We're going to be focusing in on Walmart tonight. That's how I use Flashpricer. I've been a Flashpricer customer for several years now. I love that they come up with new new ways to kind of help us as sellers and constantly enhancing the product. One of the big differences in Flashpricer from other repricing softwares for Walmart is they have really dug kind of underneath the hood of Walmart. So they aren't just relying on Walmart's API data, which is sometimes very laggy, not quite up to date. Even Walmart itself, if you've worked on the platform at all and you're trying to list something and you're looking at like what the buy box is, like sometimes Walmart themselves doesn't even have the right buy box price when you're going through and listing products. So they actually scrape the web so that they see what the actual buy box prices are. And they use all of that data in analyzing how to reprice your items. So for that reason, I think they get a huge gold star for me because I want that data to be as accurate as possible because I want my repricing to actually be competitive so that I'm selling through my product. Because the whole point of buying product to sell is to sell it. So we want to make sure our repricing and the strategies that we're using are helping us do that they actually are helping us with that sell-through rate. And we can use reports and things to analyze products that aren't moving so that we can make adjustments to those strategies. So you're looking right now kind of just at the baseline Flashpricer. I'm going to take this off of dark mode. I think it might be a little easier to see in the light mode, but you can alternate right here on color schemes if you prefer that dark mode, a little bit easier on your eyes. So when you sign up for Flashpricer, the first thing that you're going to have to do is connect your store. because it has to be able to pull in all of your product information so that you can actually do your repricing. And so that process is pretty easy. If you go to your settings and then you go to, I believe it's integrations. There it is. Nope, sorry. Sales channels. There it is. You'll see that my Walmart store is connected, and they have a very simple process to let you connect both your Amazon and Walmart stores. They'll walk you through it. You'll get connected, and then it takes a little bit of time for that data to come across into the platform. So you're just going to have to like wait for that kind of update to happen, but give it a little bit of time and then come back to it maybe the next day where everything will be loaded in and ready for you to do your work. The next thing that you need to do, which is really kind of the heart of repricing, is develop some repricing strategies. And you can have one single strategy if you want, where you just say like, hey, I just want you to compete with the buy box. This is kind of the different elements of that. And you can apply that to every single product in your catalog. Or you can get a little more nuanced with it, like we do. So we have strategies that differ based upon our buy cost. So low price items that we pay under $15 for, our repricing strategy is a little more aggressive to kind of sell through those faster than maybe our higher priced items. We also develop a liquidation strategy. So when we have items that just are not selling at all, we are not getting the movement or traction on them. They've been around for a while and we're just like, this is dead weight. It's not making me money for it to just sit there and hope that the price is going to recover. We can throw those into our liquidation strategies. And we have a couple of different ones kind of depending on how fast we want those products to move. So you can create as many strategies as you want, and then you can assign those strategies item by item. And we'll show how you do that. And we'll show you how to do it in bulk as well tonight. And then as you kind of like get used to using the repricer, you may find that you want some additional strategies as well. So first I'm going to just open up and show you what our strategy looks like and talk through that. And then I'll go through the process of actually creating a brand new strategy with you guys. This is, let me go to this one here. So this is our strategy. If the cost is over $15, we're looking for an ROI between 30% to a maximum of like 300%. That's rare, but like you can set it there if you want. This is for Walmart. It's not private label, it's just reselling. And so we're going to open up and I'll show you how we have these the strategy set up. So we are competing against the buy box. We want to get the buy box as much as possible because that's just the easy click for customers to be able to click that, put it in their cart, and move on. We don't want them to have to go find us somewhere on the page. We want to be in the buy box. So we're going to compete for the buy box. That's the main element here. And then we kind of tell it like, how do you want this repricing to behave? So we want to match the buy box. So you can match it or you can bid under the buy box. We're trying not to create price tanking. So by matching the buy box, there's lots of buy box sharing happening on the Walmart platform. But we have a couple of exceptions. If we're competing against Walmart, we're going to subtract 50 cents because we want to try to get under Walmart and get the sales and the buy box away from Walmart. We also say if it's WFS, which is Walmart Fulfillment Services, we're going to subtract 3 cents. So that means that I'm not really repricing lower if it's a fulfilled by seller item. I'm really only doing it if it's a Walmart item or an FBA, but a WFS item for Walmart. So for those two, we'll kind of undercut a little bit and try to get the buy box away from them. If the buy box is suppressed, and suppressed means there is no buy box. It's an item that basically you have to click to see who's selling the item and then choose from those offers. There's not just an add to cart button. We don't want to reprice, because if the buy box is suppressed, probably in most cases, we want to sell it for the price we have it. And we don't want to just continually get lower unless it allows for that. And you can set up a strategy to go down until you get to the buy box. But I know, like, I sell some beauty products and the buy box is like $3.50 for like an eyeliner. Okay. I can't make money at $3.50 because of fees. The fees are going to add up to $3.45 for WFS plus $1 if it's under the $10 mark, because I'm not part of that beta program. So that's $4.45 plus the percentage of however I charge for it. So I pretty much have to be at like $6.57 to even make a little bit of money on it. So I wouldn't want to go down to that buy box price because I would lose money. And so I just want to keep my price the same. And then if there's somebody in an area where Walmart doesn't have stock, they're going to be able to see my price and buy the item from me. All right. So that's kind of the main repricing rules. Now, once I've got the buy box, this is the next section. So I have the buy box. What do I want the repricer to do? So I have it set to just don't lower my price. Like, I want to keep it at that price as long as I have the buy box. So I'm not going down, but it does allow me to go up. So it looks at the next person, like, that's above me in price in the list, and it will start inching my price up, and as long as I'm maintaining the buy box. So that's kind of a great strategy because you don't see sales at the minimum price that you have like you do with other repricers. So a lot of repricers kind of don't stop that downward motion, and you'll go down and you'll hit your low, and you'll sell a lot of product at your lowest point, which is, it's great if you're making money there, but I'd rather make more money kind of at a higher price. We also have the yo-yo price lift. And so this is a strategy, I'm familiar with it on Amazon, that basically will do some kind of bouncing up and capturing the buy box at a high level. And then you lose the buy box. And so it gets back down, it gets you the buy box, and then it kind of pulls the buy box back up again. It's a really great strategy, in my opinion, when you have really fast moving items that have a lot of competition on them. Because once you've gotten the buy box, you can kind of bounce up and capture some sales at the higher point. And then you come back down and you get the buy box again. So I like that, especially in Q4. We tend to implement yo-yo strategy quite a bit, actually, over on Amazon. And then if my item is out of stock, what do I want it to do? So I have it to match the buy box. Sometimes you might want it to do something different there. Like, again, if you have items that the buy box is always lower than where you want to be, you could have it go to your max price or something like that. And that way, if you replenish the item and Walmart activates it and it hasn't caught it quite yet in the repricer because they have to get a file from Walmart and update that you have stock and count again, then you can sell at that lowest price, which you might not want to be there. So you really have to think about, when I replenish, where do I want my price point to be? And that's where the repricer will start. Okay, I'm going to take a breath, and I'm just going to look through and see if there's any questions yet on any of these platforms. So just give me a second here just to look, because I want to try to answer any questions that you guys have. Okay, I don't see any questions yet. Again, feel free to ask any questions. I will do my best to answer them. And if I don't know, I will get an answer and post back in here with that. Okay, so that's kind of one of our main strategies that we use. So let's just walk through if we created a new strategy. So I'm going to click new strategy. I'm going to call this Q4 hot items. Okay, hopefully I have a lot of those. We'll see. This is going to be for Walmart. And again, I'm not private label brand owner. I'm over here with resellers. So now I'm going to actually set up how I want this to behave for items that are probably pretty fast moving with maybe heavy competition. So choose which sellers I want to compete against. So I can compete against the lowest price, probably not if they're fast moving, high demand items. Buy box, the lowest WFS price, the lowest FBM or seller fulfilled, or I can compete against specific sellers. I don't really do that against specific sellers because I don't really pay attention to who else is on my listings. So we're going to go with buy box again. Oh, I mentioned something about a beta program for products under $10. Yeah. So Monica, there was kind of a, or there is going on a beta program that does not charge the additional dollar for WFS products that are under $10. It is a beta program and only certain sellers were invited to it. You can't even ask to get into it. Even if you have a rep, like they can't get you in it. They just like selected people. Like it is what it is because it's a beta program. So they're testing it out. So very much like Amazon used to have a small and light program where the fees were really low. So that really let you have a lot of sales at like that $9.99 price point and make a pretty decent amount of money. That's kind of what they're testing to see, like probably mostly looking at their shipping costs and whether or not they can actually maintain that lower price point. So if you're not a part of it, you don't know about it. I know about it because I have friends who are part of it, but I'm not a part of it. But I'm hoping that it's successful and they roll that out to everyone at Walmart. But for now, like it is what it is. If you're not part of it, you pay an extra $1 in WFS fees for anything priced under $10. And that's why for me personally, most of my stuff isn't priced below $10. I'll put it at 10 so that I'm paying the lesser WFS fee. So that's what that one's about. Okay, so we're going to compete for the buy box. We can choose to ignore Walmart if we want to, or ignore certain sellers. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to compete for the buy box against everybody. Then I'm going to say my main repricing strategy, do I want to match the buy box or do I want to go a little bit lower than the buy box or a little bit higher than the buy box? And probably for this, I'm going to say like 2 cents under the buy box because if it's fast moving and a lot of competition, I want to be a little bit more aggressive with my pricing strategy. So we're going to subtract with 2 cents. If Walmart's the competitor, we're actually going to subtract 50 cents because it takes a little bit more to get the buy box away from Walmart. So a couple pennies isn't going to do it for Walmart. If the competition is WFS, does it matter to me? During Q4, it doesn't because I actually do a lot of seller fulfilling myself. So I'm not really going to worry about whether or not the seller is seller fulfilled WFS. I want the buy box over everything. So I'm just going to leave that one alone. I'm not going to do specific names. When the buy box is suppressed, I can say, hey, don't reprice. I'm going to actually say, set it to my max because it might be that like, if you think about like crazy toys that everybody wants to get their hands on, there are parents that will pay a premium to just not have to go out and search for it. And in most cases, Walmart may say, hey, that price is too high, so we're not going to have a buy box. And if end up being the only seller, I want to maximize my price. So I can set that to the max. And what I can do is if that doesn't end up working well, I can come back in and change this strategy to match the buy box or do something different. So I can always make those adjustments as I kind of see like, is the strategy working well or not? All right. Once the buy box has been obtained, I'm just going to say don't lower my price. That way I still get the upward movement on my pricing. And then on this one, I'm going to enable the yo-yo pricing lift. So this says every 60 minutes, add a certain amount to my price. And then we're going to stay at that price for 30 minutes. So I'm going to say, I'm actually going to change this. Yes, is 60 the lowest? Okay. Every 60 minutes, we're going to add, let's say $2. And then we'll stay at that price for 30 minutes. And actually, we'll stay at that price for 15 minutes. And then the pricing will readjust. And when my item is out of stock, I'm going to have it go to the max price, because if I replenish, I might not want to be at the buy box price when it comes back in stock. All right. So then we're going to hit continue. And this is where I can tell it kind of my ROI goals. How much ROI do I need at minimum? What do I want to go to at a maximum? This is one way. This is the ROI. I can actually manually set a minimum and max. I do that often as well. I can calculate it by profit margin or by just a fixed profit amount that I want. Hey, I want $5 on these items minimum, and a maximum of 100 or whatever. But we're going to do ROI because I might have items that I put in this strategy that are $10 items. I might put items that are $100 items during Christmas time. Our minimum ROI is always 30%. That way we can just take care of our expenses. We do have a warehouse, we have employees, so we need to maintain a little bit higher ROI and profit margin. And then we're going to just take this up to, we'll say 250%. So if the item costs $20, this is just showing you at your minimum, I'm making $6. And at the maximum, I'm going to make $50. So that kind of gives you an idea of where your pricing kind of will take you on either side of this. We're going to review and save this strategy. Okay. So we hit create, and we'll see that Q4 hot item strategy right here. And currently there's no listings because I haven't applied it to anything. One thing I'm going to point out while we're here, because this will be important a little bit later, is that you have the name of the strategy, and then you have like this code. And that code, if you hit this copy button, it will copy this code. And that's important when you're going to do things like in a spreadsheet. So we'll come back and revisit that here in a minute. But I just wanted to point it out while we are here. So once you have your strategy set up, then you go through the process of assigning those to your products. So we're going to go to the products right here, this list. And you're going to see products kind of start coming in here towards the bottom. Now, I'm going to point out at the top is this really nice overview of your last 30 days of sales. So in the last 30 days, because I use Walmart, it has my Walmart revenue, what my profit margin was, what my average ROI was, how many units I sold, how much my inventory value that I have listed in here is worth right now. And then you can see up here the profit, but we have some things that are missing cost information. So right now my profit is skewed because I haven't entered all my cost information. So that's really important that you look and say like, oh, wow, 75% ROI, but 113 items are missing costs. So that obviously is going to come down. You can see how much here the profit is compared to the revenue. So if I had all my cost of goods in and everything, those would be a little bit different. They'd look a little bit different. But it is a really nice kind of just overview of how the health of kind of your sales on the platform. And I really like it. It's just kind of a nice little recap. Okay, below this, we have items. And let's kind of talk about what that looks like in Flashpricer when you're going and looking at items and determining strategies and that type of thing. So we can see a picture of the item. We see the item ID, which we can copy. That's the SKU. Sorry, that's not item ID, that's the SKU. The name of the item. Here is the item ID down here. This one is WFS item. And then we have the strategy that's assigned to it. So if I click here, I see all of my strategies, and all I have to do is click one to apply it. So we're going to do the cost is under $15, and that applies the strategy. And you'll see when you apply the strategy, it takes a minute, but you'll see what your min and max look like for that strategy. So I can see at the minimum, I'm going to make $4 on this item that cost me $12.99. And at the maximum, I'd make $45. Probably not likely to hit that max. Next, we see what is the current price on Walmart. So my current price is $39.59. And then you see this little arrow underneath that says $35.91. That means the next repricing, it's going to bring the price down. So it's trying to find that buy box for me. So that $35.91 is where the price is moving to, which is also very nice. I can look at my competition. So you can see $35.94 is who has the buy box right now. That's why it's pushing this price of $35.91 because it's trying to come in and grab that buy box from this person. And if I click this show competition, then I see the sellers that have this item, what their current price is on the item. So if they have any shipping costs associated with it. And then we also have captured what is the lowest price point and the highest price point that they've been at on this item. So I can kind of see the range at which they're selling the item to know, like, oh, if I go a little bit lower, if I push my ROI down, like, would I be able to get more buy box share? So this is the person who currently has the buy box by this green mark right here. And so this is where we're trying to target this competitor so that we can get the buy box away from them. We can also look at this in terms of who's selling it fulfilled by merchant versus, and also this is, by seller, and then WFS, the people who have it at WFS. So that gives us kind of just a nice range of things that we can look at to know who we're competing against. So right now at $39.59, this was what my profit would be. As we push that price down, it's going to get lower. Now, if I want to push the price right now, I can click on this little pencil and I can say $35.91. And I can push the price right now and make it change. So instead of waiting on the cycle of how the repricer works, I could be a little more aggressive and say, no, go change that right now. We also get information on any sales that were made today in the last 30 days, the velocity of this item. This item is not a good item. It's not moving fast. I've had this item a very long time, but they kind of were left over from when these miraculous dolls were really hot. How many days of stock I have left? I have 3 currently in stock with 0 inbound. We can see that this product has been in here for 2 years. So it probably would make it more sense if I change my strategy to liquidate. So I have this liquidate strategy, which is going to be a 0 to 50% ROI. And then this is mass liquidate. This is like negative, like I'm losing money if I sell it. But I'm going to change this to liquidation, and I'm going to get it to be even more aggressive on that item so that it sells hopefully here in Q4, and I can be done with that item for sure. So that's kind of how you move across looking at this information. There's also this advanced insights. I want to find an item, though, that probably has better information if I were to click on it. So let me think for a second of an item that maybe has been doing a little better. Let's try. So the search is great. It's very fast. There were a lot of years that I would come in here and search for like an item in my catalog and not use Walmart at all because it just was so much faster. So this one has had some sales. So we're going to click on this advanced insights and just see a little more information. So it hasn't been repricing because I actually haven't set the repricer on this, but we're still making sales. So this just shows you what the item price is, how many units you sold, that kind of information, which is really cool as you kind of go through it and see, like, as you have items that are like moving a lot, you can see, kind of maybe which days are better days for that. You can see here units sold and the time period that they're sold. So it's really cool information. We'll come back to this with an item that actually I've been repricing. So that would actually be a good one. I can just come in here and add my buy cost. So my buy cost is in my SKU, $4.24 to make that easy. And then this little icon next to the price is for any kind of shipping charges. So that is used in the calculation of your repricer if you're doing any kind of fulfilled by seller. So to ship this item probably would not be more than $6. So I'll add that, although shipping costs have gone up dramatically for Q4. And then so we're going to just set this to the cost under 15 strategy. And we'll give that a second and that will refresh and then it will start repricing it if it needs to. You can see that right now $12.97 is the buy box, but the next person is Walmart. So we're competing against Walmart. So good that I've actually made some sales against them. So that's nice. But just make sure that you put in that FBM cost. Why is it not saving it? There we go. I think we got it. And because that's going to throw off your repricing if you don't do that, if you're doing some seller fulfilled. Okay, so that's how you kind of go through and look at this information. Now let's talk about filtering. So we did a search. I could do another search. Let me just do Disney. And you'll see there's 292 items that come up under Disney. And this is the revenue for Disney over the last 30 days. Okay, so anything that has Disney in it. So very easy to kind of like use the search to do some searching. But maybe I want to filter my products because I'm looking for certain things. So we're going to go over here into filter. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to filter by in-stock products. So I only want in-stock. You can see a dramatic difference because there's 3,964 items in my catalog, but I only have 2,052 in stock. It's still a lot of SKUs, but we go very wide, deep occasionally, but very wide. So 2,052 products in here that are in stock. So maybe the next thing I want to look at are which one of these are missing the buy cost, because I can't reprice based upon an ROI strategy unless I know how much I paid for the product. So now it filters down and it tells me, oh, there's 275 items that I need to insert buy costs for. And if I have to insert the buy cost, I probably also need to insert a strategy for those. So I can go through and I can do those one by one, just like I showed you before. So like this one that says it's $17.99, I can put that in. I can choose the strategy that the cost is over $15 for that, and it will automatically start repricing. I want to add FBM just in case I do end up FBMing it. So I add that, and then that one's good to go. That would take a lot of time to do 275 of them. So I prefer exporting a list and doing it in Excel. And so I'm going to show you guys how you do that, which is so easy. So the first thing, once you get your filters set for the products that you need, so in stock, missing cost, you just go to these little three dots and you hit export to CSV. And it says, hey, you're about to create this CSV file with 275. These are the filters. Hey, you could email me with a link once it's done. Okay, generate my export. And it's going to go do that for you. So I've done it. I did it before the session so that we could get to it and not have to wait for the export. It didn't take that long, but just so that we can keep with the flow. So I will bring that up next, but I'm going to pause for a second because I see some questions. Does the inventory age filter also work for Walmart? I don't think it does yet. Amazon has those filters built in, but I was playing with those and I didn't get them to work. So I will talk with the guys and see if that's something that they could add. Yeah, because that would be really great. I mean, you can kind of like sort by the created at, which kind of gets you there, but a filter would definitely be better for Walmart. Can click on the sales today to sort sales today. Yeah, if I did this, yep, there it is. So it's going to sort it at the top. This one I sold 5. This one I sold 4. This one I sold 2. So yes, that actually works really well. Oh, that was actually Flashpricer saying that. Thank you. So maybe you can respond to inventory age on Walmart for the group. That would be great if you can just comment on that. All right, so I did my export. I'm going to bring up Excel and show you. So give me just a second. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Give me just a second here. Just so you guys can see a little bit better. So this is what the export looks like when it comes across. So I can see the SKU, the title, and I can move these columns, depends how Excel savvy you are. I personally love Excel. I used to teach classes on it, so I love Excel, but I know a lot of people don't. The marketplace that you're on, your sales channel, all of this stuff. This is all pretty inconsequential right here. Like I can just minimize those columns. What I'm most interested in are the strategy name, strategy ID, and cost, because that's what I need for the repricing to be active. So I would go through and I would enter costs for these items. A lot of times we do enter our costs on this end of the SKU. So that makes it really easy for me to just go in and do 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1. Whoop, that's a 1. 1, 1, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5. Okay, so those are my costs that are in. Yeah, Walmart doesn't provide inventory age in their reports. That's what I thought. It's probably just because we don't have the information there. But if we could filter by that column that's like when it was first in, that would be great. So just put that idea there. So once I have my cost entered, I just need to enter the strategy name or the strategy ID. So remember I said, hey, here's where you find the strategy ID. So let's go back to our strategies. All of these items are less than $15. So I need this cost under 15 strategy. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go back to my Excel document. Let me get it back up here. And I can click right here in this column and paste it. Control V is paste for PC, Command V for a Mac. And then once I have it, I can just keep copying it, or I can copy this and then select everything and copy it all down at once. So if my strategy is kind of an automated strategy, like an ROI strategy, that's really all I have to do. Now, if you're doing manual mins and maxes, you're going to want to fill out the min and max column. I also add in shipping because we do FBM sometimes, these items. So I'm just going to add that $6 shipping. All of these items are super light. They're little baby outfits. All right. So once I have all that information, I'm going to save. So we're going to save this, export Disney completed. And then I'm going to go to bulk uploads right here on the left. And I'm going to upload that CSV file. And it's going to match the columns that have data. So shows me all of those matches. Okay, once I confirm that, because we don't want to put things in the wrong place, we say, yep, that all is correct. And we want to apply the changes. And it's going to submit that, and it will run that report and update all of that information in just a matter of minutes. So Um, it's really fast. I recommend getting on some type of cadence, depending on how often you add items. Like, repricing Tuesdays, or, whatever day it is, that you check and make sure that you have all of that information in, and that repricing is active for all of your listings. Because again, our whole goal is to sell product, and you really can't sell product if you're not being competitive with the other listings. So bulk uploads is a great friend of mine. I love it. It does a great job. So we're going to go back over here to products while it's doing its thing. We'll take a look at some of those products in a minute. I want to talk a little bit more about filtering again, because I think this is kind of an unsung hero of the product, because there's some real good data here if you really want to get into looking at maybe why things aren't selling, or maybe why things are selling, or what products are really selling. So we can go in here and we can look at, okay, I have less than so many days of stock of an item. So that helps you with replenishments. My business isn't real big on replenishment. So I don't really look at that one a lot, but I could come down here and I could look at no sales in the last, let's say 90 days. Okay. So, and I'm going to do in stock, and I can start typing here to kind of get closer to that in stock. Okay. So these are products that I have in stock that I have not had a sale in the last 90 days. Now, I will say, I got hard gated in a lot of categories. So we lost a lot of traction in the last 90 days on some of the products, but some of these products just are not moving. So this is a great time to kind of make that decision, like your liquidate, mass liquidate. You can see I've already applied some of these strategies trying to move product and get it out, because it does me no good. It does me no good just sitting there. Number one, it costs me storage fees if it's at WFS. So we want to move those WFS products as much as possible. So I could even filter this down here. Let's see. Here we go. WFS listing. So just even further, these are items that need to be gone. So getting more aggressive. I could also, this is just kind of a tiny tip. It's not really a Flashpricer tip. It's really a Walmart tip, but you can do it because of Flashpricer. In Walmart, you have the ability to make clearance deals, in pricing adjustments and things like that kind of will show up in a more clear way for people. So especially the clearance deals, but you need to know all of your SKUs to do that. And so if I wanted to just say, let's just blow these things out, I could run an export, which is going to give me all of the SKUs that meet these criteria of no sales in the last 90 days, but I'm in stock and they're at WFS. And all I would have to do is upload those SKUs over in Walmart on the deals page. And very quickly now I have all the lists of the things that I need to get rid of. So you can't really do that on the Walmart platform. Their platform is too kludgy to kind of get to that kind of nitty gritty detail. So using Flashpricer to kind of give you that information, either through a report, which you can schedule, or just some kind of download like this, really can help you to fine tune your business to really project and move you forward. So the filters, like I said, I think they're kind of an unsung hero on this product, because I use them a lot to export data and then use that data over on the Walmart platform. All right, so let's take these filters off. And I'm going to show just a couple more things, and then we'll talk about the deal that we have going on, and then get you guys signed up for that chance at the Starbucks gift card. So over here, there is a reports area, and this is a report. These are reports that you can have run at whatever frequency you want, and you can have them emailed to you. And those reports can do a lot for kind of analyzing your performance. So you can see I have this report that runs to me weekly of any listings that have no sales. Now, a report is only as good as what you do with the data. So you want to make sure you're opening that up and analyzing and looking at it. But what's great is I don't have to actually come into a product. I actually get it delivered to me, into my inbox. I can open it up and then I can take action as needed. So, you could like create something that has like, hey, the things that are like selling really well, or items where you're not competitive, because we know price competitiveness is huge, especially now with the new levels that they have done for pro seller. So you can actually go in and run on your products where you're not competitive. Let's see. My price is greater than external competition's price. And again, you could take that report and push it over, do some incentives, do some repricing here. Maybe you have another strategy to get competitive so that you can raise your price competitiveness score. I know my beauty, now that I re-ungated beauty, it kills my price competitiveness just because Walmart is so cheap on a lot of beauty and I just cannot compete at those prices. So it's kind of the price to pay when you're selling kind of drugstore level makeup, so to speak. Is there anything that I haven't shown that you guys would like to see? I'll just take a moment here. I'm checking the other socials here and seeing if anybody has any questions. Yeah, Flashpricer can help with price competitiveness by repricing and being super competitive on your out of stock products. That's a great tip because Walmart takes like the last 7 days of where your price is at for price competitiveness, and it does utilize out of stock products in that calculation. So if you set to like when you're out of stock, like go to the minimum or match the buy box, that could definitely help with price competitiveness. I need to play with that a little more and see kind of how that evens out for me. Any other questions? So I put up on the screen the discount code. So if you use that QR code to sign up for Flashpricer, you can get 50% off your first 3 months with the code FASTER50. So that's going to get you all the way through till the end of January, which is like the biggest selling season of the year. And you really do need to give it a little time. You have a free trial at the beginning, but you really need to let that price like work in it, get everything listed in here, everything assigned to strategy, all your costs entered in, to really see the value that this can bring you. I guarantee you're going to see a sales lift. I definitely saw a sales lift when I first started it. And I noticed when I don't reprice for a while, like I've been out of town for about 5 weeks, and I need to go in and fix my repricing. I'll see that sales lift again as I have those new items come on with repricing. So definitely, give it a try. If you aren't using a repricer at all, like you need to jump in, especially during Q4, because it is competitive. Walmart isn't as competitive as Amazon, but it's still competitive. And with Flashpricer, you get Amazon repricing too, so you get them both. If you want to enter into the Starbucks gift card giveaway for $200 gift card, send an email to matt@flashpricer.com and put a coffee cup emoji in your email, and they will get back with the winner of that Starbucks gift card. So that we thank Flashpricer for adding that in, so kind of like give you guys a little lift yourselves during the Q4 season. I myself always have Starbucks with me, morning, noon, and night. So I know how important that can be, as we're all just trying to do as much as we can and capitalize on the great sales during Q4. So again, FASTER50 gives you the 50% off, and then email matt@flashpricer for a chance to win that gift card. And then there's the QR code again if you need it. If you need to scan that to get to the Flashpricer sign up page. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. Would love, you can always chat either on the WOW Facebook group, in my Instagram, comment on this video. If there's other things you would like to see about Flashpricer, I'm going to try to do a little more content on it because there's so much here that I think I probably don't even leverage that I need to leverage. So as I learn, I'll be sharing that with all of you. But have a good night. Happy selling during Q4. I hope you kill it. I'll kill it during Q4, and we'll be talking soon. Thanks so much.